Hey everybody, Friday, April 12th. Bank earnings. I got great news. Great news. But before I get into that, let me just set up the picture for you. Now, if you have been following me for any length of time, you know that I have frequently been talking about the bank metrics, bank credit growth, the acceleration in that growth, loans and leases, bank assets, bank capital, all of that stuff, really going back until last November, all of that stuff has been increasing and accelerating. That was one of the fundamentals that I pointed to in that correction late last year, November and December, when I said, look at the banking metrics. They're all accelerating. This is not indicative of a slowdown in the economy. What was happening in the stock market was just a sort of a panic. It was a correction. And I went on to say those banking metrics are telling us that the economy is growing at a very good pace. And I've mentioned this in recent videos that I have made, that GDP for the first quarter has been revised up a number of times now, and we're above 2% growth when it started out. The initial forecasts were for 0.2% growth, like fractional. Now we are up to the level of GDP growth, essentially what we saw in the fourth quarter. So there really has been no slowdown whatsoever. But at the same time, I said the banking metrics, all those things I just mentioned, bank asset growth, loans and leases growth, bank credit growth, capital growth, all that stuff was pointing to stronger financial position of the banks, better earnings. And here we are today with the reports of very nice earnings beats for JP Morgan, for Wells Fargo, for PNC. Here's the great news. Yesterday I sent out some recommended option trades to my subscribers. Today, less than 24 hours after those reports were sent out, they all doubled their money in a day, less than a day actually. So this was a great trade. This was all based on a bullish outlook for the banks and their earnings. Now there's more banks to report. Obviously we just had a couple of them today, but there are going to be many more to report. I am going to be sending out more option trade recommendations to my subscribers today and over next week. Hopefully we could replicate what we have done today with a doubling of the investment in a single day, less than a day actually. So if you are not on my subscription list, you gotta go. I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I have to repeat this. I am the only guy out there who has an applied approach to MMT. Everybody's been bearish. Everybody has been bearish. For whatever reason, the inverted yield curve, I told you not to pay attention to that, and I told you it was a technical development which created that inversion that was not signaling any kind of a recession or a recession at all. Everybody was saying a recession is coming, a recession is coming. Instead, they've been revising up first quarter GDP growth. And even Goldman Sachs recently, just a couple of days ago, said, hey, you know what? We're going to downgrade our recession forecast. I have been telling you that all along. Nobody does what I do. I am the only one out there who has an applied approach to MMT. That means taking the concepts of MMT and combining that with an understanding of trading and, of course, the mental game aspect, which I have spoken about so many times, and I say that is the key thing. It's not even about the analysis, which our analysis here at MMT Trader is far and away the best of anything that is out there. We beat Goldman Sachs. We beat Morgan Stanley. We beat all the major Wall Street firms. No question about it. They don't look at it, and if they look at it, they just look at it tangentially. They really don't understand it, and they don't know how to apply it. And the same thing goes for the MMT academics who are out there. All right? I mean, that's they're academics, so I don't expect them to kind of put it together into a trading and investing approach. But a lot of them have even gotten the the concepts wrong or have ignored the most important elements of the MMT picture right now. I mean, we have one guy who's been bearish for 4 years, seemingly ignoring his own understandings of MMT. I'm not going to mention any names, but you might know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I said you can't be bearish. Fiscal support is massive. It is unprecedented. It is historic. And bank credit, which I follow very, very closely, going back to last November, December, we saw a very, very noticeable acceleration in these banking metrics, showing up today in the numbers on earnings, and obviously was indicating, as I saw, an uptick in the economy rather than a slowdown. So all these things come into fruition. I'm the only one who had it. The only one who had it. All right, we're going to make new highs in the stock market. I've been telling you that. Yes, sentiment is a little bit extended. By the way, bullish sentiment is not that high, but bearish sentiment is very low, and neutral sentiment is very high. I suspect what we're going to see here is an extension of this rally to new highs. You're going to get all these neutral people jumping off the fence and going into the bullish camp, and that might set up a period of a correction. But as long as we have this very, very strong fiscal support, I mean, it's up. The trend is up. All right, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day trial of MMT Trader, and I will send out the option recommendations to you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.